13 days away, Hugh, from Eagles-Cowboys. I heard you guys talking a little bit about Week 1 yesterday. And I know you have a little bit of fear about that game. I personally don't. And when I'm thinking about Week 1 and kind of projecting it toward the rest of the season, it made me think about this division this year. And one of the craziest stats in all of sports is the fact that nobody has won this division 2 years in a row since you guys did it in 03-04. I mean, you were on one of those teams.
Yeah,
you weren't on both those teams. But that's the last time anybody repeated in the in the NFC East is when the Eagles did it in 03-04. And I think, I will guarantee, I know we're sitting here on August 22nd. There's a lot of football to be played, the whole season be played. I guarantee you, Hugh, the Eagles are going to win the NFC East. This division is a lock. None of the other teams in the NFC East have a chance. I believe the Eagles are a lock to win the NFC East, and we want to know how you feel. 215-592-9494, 215-592-9494. I'll lay out some of my reasons in a few minutes here, but Hugh, do you think the Eagles are a lock to win the NFC East?
No, nothing's a lock, man. You're just counting the team that you played in the NFC Championship. I know they're a young team, and, there's a chance there that there might be a sophomore slump for the quarterback. When you look at what happened to C.J. Stroud down there in Texas with the Texans, there's that chance. But I think that they're trying to put that young man, Jaden Daniels, in a position, in a situation where he's going to grow and evolve as a quarterback. They like the fact that he is a mature guy. They like the fact that him and his mother have such a great relationship. So they're going to groom him in a way, and they're not going to put too much on his plate so that he can have a decent season. Now, I don't know what that looks like, but I think that they are going to be a threat. And if you think they're not, I think that's kind of crazy for you to think that.
Well, I think they have a chance to be a playoff team, but if we're talking about being as good as the Eagles, I don't think they will be, Hugh. I mean, I look at the Commanders. They're dealing with their own drama right now. Terry McLaurin's still not practicing for them. I don't know if they're going to get a deal done. Their defense, I mean, we know their defense isn't good. We look at the Eagles last year. They scored 55 in the championship game. They scored 33 with Kenny Pickett in that game down in Washington that the Eagles lost. Their defense is not great. Their receiver situation, like I said with McLaurin, they got Debo. I mean, Debo looks like he's put on 30 more pounds this offseason. I don't feel worried about the Commanders. The Cowboys, we'll get into the Cowboys a little later on. They're a mess with this Parsons thing. Jerry Jones can't stop talking about it. The Giants are the Giants. Who knows what their quarterback situation is going to be? I just look at all the teams in this division, and I don't see any way any of them are on the Eagles level or anywhere close to the Eagles level. And I get the Eagles have concerns. Their concerns pale in comparison to all these other teams.
No, I hear you. And the Eagles also are the class of the NFC because of what they did. So now you're getting everybody that's gunning for them. I don't think I could explain to you in a way that you would truly understand how much that means to teams that they're going to be playing against. The fact that, perfect example, last week, Elliott Shore-Parks came on here and talked about how the Cleveland Browns beat up the Eagles. They did that because that was their measuring stick. They wanted to see how good they could potentially be. Now, it might be somewhat delusional because none of the starters played, but that's the momentum that you try to build in this offseason. So when I think about the Washington Commodores and what they did and what they were able to accomplish in one season, you don't think that they're going to be juiced every time they see the Eagles? The Dallas Cowboys, as much drama as they have going on down there, there's still a pride factor that you have to factor into games like this. They're going to come in here and they're going to be ready to play. I don't think that they have enough to beat the Eagles, to your point, but the Philadelphia Eagles are in the same position that everybody's in. Nobody's played in the preseason. So this is the opportunity for you to catch them slipping, if you will. That's the term that we're going to use in this situation, catch them slipping, because they're not up to par. They're not up to speed, and we saw that. We saw it last year in Green Bay. Well, in Brazil, we saw that. So. Right. That's why it's too early in the season to overlook anybody, and you have to factor in. Now, they've been little dinks and dunks, little like ticky-tack injuries, except for the receiver, was it Johnny Wilson?
Johnny Wilson, done for the year.
He's done for the year, but you have to guard against that too. The first month in the NFL season, in my opinion, is the most crucial because that could set your team on a positive trajectory or a negative one. And what I mean by that is, you notice how in the first month there's a rash of injuries. Normally that's how it goes. Now, I don't know if that's because, guys haven't played or, that's just how it is. The data's inconclusive on that. But the bottom line is this. There's a chance that things could happen that could potentially derail the season in that first month because they didn't play. And they are trying to catch up to speed or get up to speed, if you will. So that's why I say you should never overlook anybody because everybody's going to be in the same position. Like, you're going to go into the game, and there are going to be certain things like the Eagles wanted to do last year. They wanted to throw the ball, couldn't throw the ball. So they had to pivot and run the ball. And lucky enough for them that their defense was up to speed enough so that they could sustain that and help them get going late in the game. Because that goal line, I don't know how anybody else felt, but when they fumbled and the Packers were threatening to score and they stepped up, that could have went either way.
Absolutely. And I think it's going to need to probably work the opposite this year, honestly, to be frank, because last year, like you said, the defense kind of held its own until the offense got going. Probably going to need to be the other way around this year, where the defense I could see struggling early on. The offense is going to need to pull more of the weight. But I just look at not just the talent, but also like the organizational, just the way the organizations are run. I look at the Commanders, I look at the Cowboys, they're dealing with major drama situations, contract situations right now. I think for the Commanders too, it's hard to be that team who came out of nowhere to replicate that a second year in a row. Like, typically that doesn't happen. And you look at their offensive coordinator, Cliff Kingsbury, his biggest issue in Arizona, rather, like, he had a really good start to his tenure there. But as time moved on, teams caught up. People caught up. And I think when you look at Cliff Kingsbury, you look at Jaden Daniels, I think the league is going to catch up a little bit. And the bottom line is, like, a floor for the Eagles. I see their floor as, like, 10 wins. Like, an absolute disaster for them is them winning 10 wins. And I see for these other teams, their ceiling is basically 10 or 11 wins. I just don't see any way these teams end up beating the Eagles.
No, I get it, but let's be honest. The hot button topic of this offseason has been Jalen Hurts and what he is.
Always.
This season is gonna hinge on what he is exactly. And I know people say, oh, well, we got Saquon Barkley. Now, if I'm a defensive coordinator in this division and I'm going through all the tape in the offseason of Saquon Barkley and some of his majestic runs that he had last year, I'm gonna put myself in more of a position to stop that because he hit the scene last year and he was motivated and he was dedicated. And he caught some people slipping. I'm going to use that word again. He caught them slipping. So now going into this season, I would imagine that he's going to see a lot of 8-man fronts, 9-man fronts early in the game so that they could take him away and make Jalen throw the football. Now, this is the biggest difference in all of that is if Jalen can sustain that because he's probably going to see that more than anything. Because I'll tell you this, TK, when you look at that Super Bowl and the way that he played, I would be willing to bet that more defensive coordinators feel like that was an anomaly than the fact, right?
I'd agree with that, yeah.
So they're gonna shake the dice, they're gonna roll the dice, and they're gonna bet on stopping the run and making Jalen beat you. Jalen can do himself a huge favor and quieting a whole lot of folks if he goes out there and he plays to the potential that we've seen him play to.
Well, that's another part of it. I mean, we talk about how much we believe in Jalen. If Jalen is a top 5 quarterback, I mean, this team's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
Like, this team's going to be incredible.
No question about it. And I believe that. I believe that's going to be the case because it's going to be born out of necessity.
Yeah, and it probably will be. 215-592-9494. Do you believe the Eagles are a lock to win the NFC East this year? I do. Hugh, not quite there. Luke Nichols producing the show today. Where are you, Luke? Is it a lock that the Eagles win the NFC East?
Yeah, it's a lock. The rest of the teams have so many questions against them. Compared to the Eagles, where we're worried about, maybe the offensive line with Dickerson being out, the second corner position, the second safety position. We're worried about that. That's nothing compared to these other teams.
Luke is not as big as his voice is, though, is he?
No. You'd imagine Luke would be a little huskier.
Bigger.
A little huskier, yeah. Luke is tall and trim.
He needs to grow up. He need to grow a beard, though.
You look like you sound like you should have a beard.
Yeah, you should have.
I think it's funny if I don't because it keeps the allure of you look like I look like I'm 12.
You look like you smoke like a pack of Newports a day. So
two packs usually.
Yeah, 2 packs.
Poor Luke. He makes his Eagles point, and Hugh just points out his voice.
He sounds like he smokes Newports.
Hugh did say like, it's his show today.
Yeah.
It's going off the rails.
This is terrifying.
This is my world.
It's his world today. But the Eagles, the rest of the teams in the division are a mess. I mean, the Commanders, their defense is meh. Like you said, teams are going to catch up to Kingsbury. They don't even have Terry McLaurin signed. He's probably going to sign, but as of right now, they don't have him signed. They're going to trade Brian Robinson. They're going with this Bill Krosky Merritt guy as their top running back. The Cowboys are an absolute joke. And the Giants don't know who their quarterback is right now. Jackson Dart looks great, but are they going to start Russell Wilson? And then you got to give Jameis some time because it's Jameis, and he's great. Their defense could be all right, but their offense is terrible. So I think it's finally time to have a repeat division winner. It's ridiculous that we haven't had one in 20-something years. It feels impossible. This is the year the Eagles get it done. The rest of the teams just are nowhere close.
I hope that's the case.
It really
but
is.
I don't believe that to be the case.
It really is one of the most insane stats in football, like in sports, that like 4 teams. There are only 4 teams in the division. 21 years, nobody has won 2 years in a row.
I think that is attributed to the parity that's in the division that obviously y'all don't see.
Hey, this the year it changes. Every streak's got to be broken at some point.
I mean, I hear you, but I would rather go into this with a little bit more caution than everybody else has.
Oh, come on. Caution.
I'm a cautious individual.
Okay. Are you going to be cautious the rest of the show today? I don't think you are. I think you're ready to let loose. Yeah.
No, because I'm already getting mean and hurtful texts from Kyle. I just know Kyle's at home.
This is Kyle's worst nightmare.
No, yeah,
Kyle's supposed to have a day off, and he can't even disconnect.
Kyle's at home right now trying to push imaginary buttons to dump stuff he can't do. You can't do it today, Kyle.